I'm going to read for you the cats in Krasinski Square and identify the elements of plot within this linear plot line of this fictional text. You may review this video in preparation to demonstrate mastery of this same skill for your teacher. So the very first thing that I know I need to look for in my fictional text is the exposition. That's the setting and the characters. My exposition begins on page 1 and it ends when I identify the conflict. The cats come from the cracks in the wall, from the dark corners, the openings, and the rubble. They know I can offer only a gentle hand, a tender voice. They have no choice but to come. They belonged once to someone. They slept on sofa cushions and ate from crystal dishes. They purred, furrowing the chests, nuzzling the chins of their beloveds. Now they have no one left to kiss their velvety heads. I whisper, I have no food to spare. The cats don't care. I can keep my fistful of bread, my watery soup, my potato, so much more than my friend Michael gets behind the wall of the ghetto. The cats don't need me feeding them. They get by nicely on mice. Now, I've marked this as the inciting incident because I know that this problem with her friend Michael is what's going to drive the conflict of the text. But my exposition actually continues all the way until the conflict is revealed. I look like any child playing with cats in the daylight in Warsaw. My Jewish armband burned with the rags I wore when I escaped the ghetto. I wear my Polish look. I walk my Polish walk. Polish words float from my lips, and I am almost safe, almost invisible, moving through Krasinski Square, past the dizzy girls riding the merry-go-round. My brave sister Mira, all that is left of our family, my brave sister tells me of the plan, the newest plan to smuggle food inside the ghetto. The conflict is that they have to find a way to get food into the ghetto to the people like Michael who are hungry. Her friends will come on the train carrying satchels filled not with clothes or books, but bread, groats, and sugar. My rising action begins immediately after my conflict. So once I identify my conflict, I can go backwards and identify my exposition, and I can go forward and begin to identify my rising action. My rising action will continue until I reach my climax or my turning point. I know the openings in the wall. The cats have taught me. I show Mira on a map. Her friend Eric is drawn. Every crack will be filled with food, Mira says, bringing our thin soup to a simmer on the ring. I ask to smuggle the bread through the spot near Krasinski Square, where Michael lives on the other side of the wall. Mira knows the danger, but she nods. I fall back onto the mattress, and the big room dances with light. But I think my rising action may not need to be here. I may need to save it until I identify my climax. But on the day when the train is already rolling toward Warsaw, Eric, breathless, bursts into our room and says the Gestapo knows of the train and the satchels, and they'll be waiting in the station with their dogs to sniff out the smugglers. The look that passes between Eric and Mira frightens me more than a knock on the door in the night. I cannot remain inside. Instead, I wear my Polish look. I walk my Polish walk. Polish words float from my lips as I move through Krasinski Square, singing a nonsense song. The cats come from the cracks in the walls, the dark corners, the openings, and the rubble. And I know what I must do. So I know I'm getting close to the turning point, but the turning point is the place, or the climax is the place in the story where it feels like things might not go right for our main character. We gather the cats one by one, Mira and Eric, Henrik and Merrick, Hannah and Anna, Tosia and Stasia. We gather the cats into baskets and head to the station, where we spread out waiting for the train behind the Gestapo and their straining, snarling dogs. So the tension is building, It's getting more dangerous and more dangerous for them, so I know I'm getting close to that climax or turning point. Suddenly, steam and the scream of the whistle. The train pulls in. Passengers stream off. The dogs are set loose. That's my turning point. They've let these dogs go, and they're going to attack the people with the baskets. I'm going to go back here and flag rising action, because now that I have my climax, I know that's where my rising action ends. The dogs are set loose. Their sharp barks echo through the station. They fly toward the men and women, the girls and boys, with a strong scent of bread, groats, and sugar about them. But before the dogs can reach their prey, since I have my climax where everything seemed to go wrong, it's already starting to change right here. But before they can reach their prey, now I know my falling action is coming. We open our baskets and let the cats loose. The station explodes into chaos as frenzied dogs turn their wild hunger on the cats, who flee in every direction, slipping through cracks into dark corners between openings. Now, they saved the people, but in saving the people, what they really did was get the food. And remember, that was their conflict, is getting food behind this wall into the ghetto. So now I know I'm to my resolution when I see them resolve that conflict that we identified early on. The smuggled food vanishes from the station, vanishes from our side of Warsaw, through the wall, over the wall, under the wall, into the ghetto, including my basket with a loaf of bread from Michael, taken by grateful hands. And then the final piece of the elements of plot is denouement, and that is the image or the feeling that the author leaves us with. And the music from the merry-go-round floats in the air, rising tinsel bright above Krasinski Square. I hope that helps you to review the elements of plot and understand how to identify them in a text with a linear plot. And that this can benefit you as you review and get ready to show your teacher that you have mastered this skill in your own work. Thanks so much.